Ever seen someone humiliated for doing an honest job? At Crestview High, the janitor wasn't invisible that morning, he was the target. Marcus Reed, a quiet black custodian, was wiping the hallway when the principal's son slammed him into the wall and sneered, "You people should know your place." The crowd laughed. But what no one realized was that the man they mocked once wore a badge that could silence the entire room. The sound of a locker door cut through the laughter, marking the start of something no one expected. It happened in broad daylight, right in front of the school's main hallway. Ethan Clark, the principal's son, swaggered down the corridor with two teammates, loud and careless. His voice carried across the lockers. When Marcus, the janitor, bent down to pick up a fallen broom, Ethan's shoulder brushed his arm. "Watch it, old man," Ethan snapped, his tone dripping with arrogance. Marcus simply nodded, murmuring, "Sorry, son." But Ethan wasn't done. He grabbed Marcus by the collar and slammed him against the wall, his voice echoing. "You don't belong here. You clean up after people like me. Don't forget your place." The hallway fell silent. Students froze mid-step. A teacher turned away. Nobody spoke. Marcus's hands trembled slightly, but his eyes, steady, calm, met Ethan's glare. "You done?" he asked softly. That quiet defiance only made Ethan angrier. He pressed harder. "You talk back to me again, and I'll make sure my dad fires you before lunch." Somewhere down the hall, a locker slammed shut. The sound cut through the silence like a gunshot. Later that morning, Marcus continued his work quietly in the gym, scrubbing a floor already spotless. Every sound, the squeak of his mop, the distant chatter, felt heavier than usual. The humiliation still burned. On the floor beside him lay a small, scratched metal badge. His son's old unit badge, one he carried every day. He touched it gently, thumb tracing the engraved words, "Honor before rank." That memory steadied him. His son had died serving a country that barely looked at him twice. But Marcus had promised himself never to let bitterness win. As he gathered his tools, Ethan walked in again, smirking. "You missed a spot," he said, pointing at nothing. "Guess that's the best you people can do." Marcus inhaled slowly, his jaw tight. "What would you do," he finally said, "if this happened to you?" Ethan laughed. "It wouldn't. Because I'm not you." He kicked the mop bucket, sending water splashing across the floor. Laughter echoed off the walls. For a moment, Marcus almost broke. Then his gaze shifted toward the gym doors, where two men in suits stood watching. One of them wore a school district badge. By noon, the principal's office was filled with tension. Ethan lounged on the couch, still smug. "Dad, I told you, he pushed me first," he said. Marcus stood quietly by the door, hands folded in front of him. Principal Clark frowned. "Marcus, I appreciate your years here, but my son claims." "He's lying," said a calm voice from behind. The man in the district suit stepped forward. "Mr. Marcus Reed isn't just your janitor. He's the new compliance officer for the district's ethics board. He's here undercover to review conduct among staff and students." The room went dead silent. Ethan's smirk vanished. Principal Clark blinked. "Wait, what?" Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out the small badge, the same one Ethan had seen glinting earlier. The same one he'd mocked. "This badge isn't just metal," Marcus said quietly. "It's a reminder of who I served, and who I still serve. Respect." Ethan's mouth opened, but no sound came out. The next day, word had spread. Students whispered in the hallways, glancing at Ethan, now cleaning graffiti under his father's orders. Marcus passed by, mop in hand, stopping just for a moment. Ethan looked up, face flushed. "I didn't know who you were." Marcus's voice stayed level. "That's the point. You shouldn't need to know." He walked away, leaving the sound of dripping water and silence behind him. Later, a teacher found Marcus standing by the window, polishing the same badge until it gleamed. "Why didn't you press charges?" she asked. Marcus smiled faintly. "Because punishment teaches fear. But respect, only time can teach that." As the camera pans out, sunlight filters through the glass, catching the silver of his badge. The same words shimmer faintly, "honor before rank." And for the first time, the hallway felt quiet, not from fear, but from understanding.